Hey everybody, Trishna here. Welcome to part 2 of the I Am Already Good Enough healing video. This is a part where we go into the healing and the activation. As I said in other videos, if you've seen them, all you have to do is really listen to the words, and you may or may not agree with the words, but these words are specifically designed to activate you on a vibrational level at the deepest levels of your being, and that will then align every aspect of yourself, including the mental side of you, the emotional side of you, the soul side of you, and just the total body aspect of you. And yeah, you can just listen to the words. So that means that you can watch the video or you can just close your eyes and sit back and listen. All you have to do is listen to the words and you will be activated. And sometimes there is a little bit of homework, but not always. And just as a side note, the I Am Good Enough Already healing that we're about to do is going to activate you on the overall I Am Good Enough, I guess, scale. There are many aspects to feeling good enough. We have the appearance side of, am I pretty enough? Do I look good enough? Am I skinny enough? Then there is the education or career or comparison side of, am I smart enough? Am I qualified enough? There's the dream side of things, as in, like, is my art good enough? Do people like my art? Do I even have any talent to begin with? Will this dream ever be mine? There's a relationship aspect of things of, will these people ever like me? I really hope that they do. In romantic relationships, does this person love me as much as I love them? There's a whole spectrum of there's a whole like subset of what goes on when it comes to feeling good enough. And so in one video I won't be able to address every one of those, otherwise it'd be a very long video, and I think my videos tend to be very long as it is. But if each one of those subsets is something that's interesting to you, then I can go into every one of those subsets as well in future videos. But for this video, it'll be an overall spectrum version of the I Am Already Good Enough healing and activation. And of course, as you guys know, this is more of a general activation, and if you really want to target yourself at your personal vibrational level for your very unique and personal energetic field, working with me one-on-one would be the best way to do that, because we really target and work with you and have a very tailored healing for you. But with that, we'll go ahead and get started with the healing and activation. You are already enough, and you came here being born as already enough. And if you look at a baby and say, well, you're stupid, you're not enough, you don't know XYZ, well, that really wouldn't be very practical or reasonable. We would never tell a baby that, because they're just a baby. They're exactly enough as they are, right where they are in that moment in time. And that doesn't just stop when you are a baby. That's not something that, once you grow up, all of a sudden you are no longer enough. You're always enough at every stage of your life. At every stage of your life, you are complete. You're exactly who you need to be in that moment and in that time and in that place. In the first part of this video, we talked about how life is all about growth and progression, and that also is tied in to you feeling like you are good enough, me feeling like I'm good enough, all of us feeling like we're good enough, because we're all having the same kind of growth throughout our lifetimes. We're all going in this together, even if it doesn't always feel that way. The thing is, though, is that if you ever worry that you're not growing enough, like you're staying stagnant, like you're just behind and that's why you're not good enough, that's just not something that you should ever really think about, because there is no such thing as stagnation. Everything grows. The grass doesn't just stop growing all of a sudden. It continues to grow, and we have to continuously go ahead and cut it. And even rocks deteriorate. Everything is always in motion. Everything is always moving. And so even when you feel like you're not growing, even when you feel like you're not doing enough, even when you feel like you're falling behind, even when you feel like you're stagnant, that's simply not true. Nothing in life, nothing on this planet is like that. Nothing ever stays stagnant. So understand that even when you feel like you're not growing, you actually are growing. Even when you feel like you're not progressing, you actually are progressing. There is just so much love and just this undertone always around us of universal love and acceptance and moving forward and growth, that even if you tried your hardest, you would not be able to stay stagnant. You would not be able to stop yourself from growing. So always keep that in mind, that no matter where you are, no matter how slow you feel like you're moving forward, you are moving forward, you're moving at the perfect pace, and this alignment is going to help you to continue to move forward in the best ways possible, and also allow you to be at peace when you're in those moments of feeling like you are stagnant, and really appreciating those moments and understanding the true depth of those moments, and really being at peace with it, because you will have an inner knowing that things can appear stagnant while they are not stagnant. And sometimes we do need to have a break. And if you are really feeling stagnant, that just may be a break period for you, a slower period in your cycle that's really there for you to rest and enjoy. And it's not something that you need to worry about. It's not something you need to stress about. You don't need to feel like you are not progressing as a person or as a soul or anything like that, or in your life. It's just part of the cycle, and everybody has it, and really enjoy it. Enjoy that moment of being able to relax and settle down and just be and appreciate, because when things really start piling on, when it's time for you to hit the ground running, you will be so busy and moving forward, and you won't have that moment to rest, and you'll wish that you had appreciated that time a little bit more. So just always keep that in mind, that there's no such thing as stagnation, even when it really feels like nothing is happening. Progression is one of those things where we really only look at ourselves and measure ourselves based off of whether we think we are progressing or not. But remember that this universe, we think that we're separate, but we're actually all part of everything. So progression can really be evident in more ways than just whether or not you are moving forward in your goals, or you are where you think you need to be. When we live in this world where we have our family members and our friends, and we see them progressing in their goals in their life, learning new things, growing, becoming more of themselves, that is actually a reflection of us progressing as well, even though we may think it's just them progressing and we're sitting here like sitting ducks. But their progression is actually a progression for us. We just don't see it that way. But because we are one, you need to understand that when somebody else in your life is progressing, it's a reflection of where you are, because when you see progression, it means that you are progressing on some level. If you weren't, you won't be able to see that in your reality. It wouldn't mirror itself back to you. So appreciate when other people are progressing in their lives, when people that are really close to you are having a really good time, things are moving forward for them, because that actually is a sign that things are moving forward for you as well. It just may not be apparent on the surface. And I've given this example before about how, don't measure things on the surface so much, because, for example, if when you were a little kid and you wanted to have a birthday party, you were really excited about your birthday, and then maybe your parents and all of your friends decided that they were going to throw you a surprise birthday party. So they pretended to forget about your birthday, and then you went off on your day just feeling sad, like nobody loved you, nobody cared about you, and you really bought into it. And on the surface, that's how it appears. Everybody forgot your birthday. It's your one special day. You've been talking about it for a week, and then they forget. But really what's happening is they're planning all this stuff behind the scenes. They're planning when they're going to meet you. They're planning what's your favorite cake. They're planning how we're going to get all the decorations up, how we're going to get you out of the house, when we're doing all of this stuff, how we're going to get everybody on board, how we're going to make sure everybody keeps it a secret. There's so much going on behind the scenes that you don't realize. And then when you show up at your birthday and you get surprised, you realize that everybody did love you the entire time. You just weren't seeing it. And that is exactly how the universe is as well. It is always there loving you, even if you don't see it on the surface. You just have to wait for the amazing surprise. Trust that the surprise is there. One thing you can do to help yourselves see how worthy you already are and how you are already enough exactly as you are, and this can also be tied into you stepping outside of your comfort zone, which we talked about in video 1 or part 1 of this video, is share your voice, speak your truth, share how you really feel about things, share your opinions, and watch as how even when your friends or people in your life disagree with you, they still stick around because they love you anyways. They appreciate you anyways, and they understand that you have a different opinion and maybe they don't agree with it, but they love you, and so they want to stick around, and they're not just going to let one thing you said or one opinion you had affect the entirety of your relationship. So that is an exercise where if you're really struggling with feeling like you're good enough already, speak your voice, speak your truth, and I think that that can be so liberating. I think it can be so enlightening. It's so liberating because you really feel like you can let your true self out, and it's so enlightening because you'll see that people are still around you in your life, and like I said, that they love you anyway. So that would be an exercise that I recommend that you do. So that would be one of those homework items that you could do that's coming from this healing that I think could be very beneficial to you if it feels right for you. The other thing to keep in mind is to always know that you are loved. And that love it can come from people around you in your world, and it often does. It comes from your parents, it comes from your friends, it comes from other family members, it comes from our pets. There is definitely love around us at all times, but there is also a love that is always there and unconditional, and that love is a love that you have for yourself. And you may think, well, I don't really like myself. But your true self, your true core self, always loves you. It always has, it always will, it never will ever stop, ever. It's who you truly are. It is the God version of yourself. And that version only sees the perfection in you at all times. It never sees anything that you do as wrong. It doesn't matter how bad it is, it loves you anyways, because its love, like I said, is very unconditional. There is a lot going on just in our universe alone, more than any of us are really very consciously aware of. And so even if we were some kind of experiment in a petri dish for a greater world with bigger beings than we are, who, you know, created us, like us life forms, into a little petri dish, and they put us in this like beautiful globe of a world, and that's where we live. Even if that were true, think about everything that you have ever created. Think about if you are a parent and you have a child. Think about if you're a business owner and you created a business. Think about if you are an actress or an artist and you create your masterpiece, or you may be your own masterpiece if you're an actor or actress. Think about anything that you have ever created in your lifetime, something that you really was really truly yours. And have you ever really been able to forget it or let it go or really hate it? You can't, because whatever you've created is your baby. Whatever you've created is a piece of yourself that is put into it. Everything that you've created is really just, it's a reflection of who you are, and it has aspects of you in it, and so you can't ever really hate it. And so there is always this love, whether or not you believe that you love yourself or the people around you love you. You are here, and there is a universe around you, and there is love because you are its baby. However you want to, however it makes sense for you, whatever you believe, like that's just how it is. Like that aspect is true, is that you are here and you are loved. And so just always remember that, is that no matter how you feel about yourself or how you think other people feel about you, there is always this undertone of love that is always there. And you are a baby to not just your parents, but to everything all at the same time. So you can never be rejected. And you may think, well, I've been rejected in relationships, I've been rejected by friends, I've been rejected by jobs when I went out and interviewed for them. Sometimes I got rejected, you know, my application got rejected, I didn't even get an interview. Those are all just tangible things. Those are just reflections of where you are at. They're not actually who you are. They're just showing you where you're at. And so you can never really be rejected, because you already exist and you can't not exist. So even if you say like, well, I could die, I would no longer exist, that's not really true. You would go back into the ethers, you go into another dimension, you go into another aspect of reality, but you would still exist. Like the you can never stop existing. And even if you passed on, there are still memories of you that still exist, and you are still, your imprint, it still exists in the entire record of all of the, like the whole energetic record of past, present, future, parallel, that's kept, because your signature leaves a mark, it leaves a legend. And so even if you passed on, like that legend would still exist. Like you can't ever be erased. So you will always exist because you are worthy of existing, because you are loved and you are wanted here. So that's all to say that you are worthy already as you are. Remember, we love babies. We love babies just as they are, and they can't do anything. But we love them because they're already enough. They're already more than enough. And that never changes. It never changes. It doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter what mistakes you make. You're always already enough. And just keep in mind that this is all about growing, and we're all growing. And it's all about closing that gap and reaching that next level of happiness when we make an accomplishment, and stepping outside of our comfort zone and coming in tune with ourselves, becoming more of ourselves, so that we can close those gaps and really be who we are and connect with our truer self. And our truer self is there to guide us. Our truer self, once we connect with that, it makes it so much easier to connect. It makes it so much easier for us to step outside of our comfort zones, because we know this is the right thing to do. We know this is the right direction. This is the right decision. This is who we are. We know that this lights us up. So really connecting with the true self also helps you as well in this whole journey. So if you haven't seen that video, I would go ahead and recommend that you watch that. That's also 2 parts. that how to connect with your true self. The second part is the healing, just like in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude the healing right here. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys feel amazing and wonderful and really take these points to heart and understand that you are worthy and loved exactly as you are. And thank you for being here, because it wouldn't be the same without you, because you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to exist. You're supposed to leave your mark, whatever that mark is. It doesn't have to be some huge mark, some huge legendary thing that you accomplished. You're a legend in and of yourself, because you are already enough in and of yourself. So there's nothing you have to go do, nothing you need to impress upon others. You don't need to be this, you don't need to do anything. There's nothing that you have to be other than being yourself. So yes, I hope this helps you. Go ahead and also watch the How to Connect with Your True Self, so you can really tune in to who you are and who you want to be. Also to watch the How to Find Your Purpose video. That again will align you with your purpose and your goal, and again more of who you truly are and who you want to be, your version of that, not somebody else's version of that. And really connect with yourself, because you'll be so much happier, your life will feel so much more fulfilled, and you will really feel just how important you are to everything and everyone and all that is. So thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys in my next video.